let's continue to make our button demo class even more. So that's why here I want to show you actually at the end, our example we will do is we will have a radio button. I can change the color for the text display. I want to display different color. I can change their font. Okay. Of course, I still can move to the left and right, but I even can also change the display name. Okay, so then after we enter the name, you see here the display will be changed. Okay, so then the same thing, I can change the color. So then you will see here, actually originally we only have the text display and the button. So now the next thing we will see, how can we add our checkbox and the radio button one by one, and also the image display. Okay, so we will see here. The next one, we do the version one by one. So the next version we want to do is we just check add the checkbox first. So we will see here what is the checkbox. The checkbox, you can see they display like a square. So you can either choose one or have combined everything. So this one, like earlier we say, originally we have the button demo extend from the application. So we continue to use the text display and the button. So that's why the checkbox example, we will just have inherited from the button demo, but here we add in the border pane, we add the right hand side. We see how we can add a checkbox. So here is the checkbox, the same thing, they are inherited from the button base. So then you will see, right, they were just using the set on action to add the listener. So for each checkbox, they had displayed a string. And when we see here, how do I know this box being selected or not? You will just see the selected. They will return bool, is selected. If that's true, that means that checkbox being selected. If false, that means that checkbox is not selected. So we will see the first thing, how we can add to this one. So right, we just need to have a two checkbox. Since they are next to each other in different rows, so we can using a V box or grid pen. So either way, if you want to do. So this one actually that's we're using the V box. So we create a V box. So this box is just have a checkbox, one called bold, one called italic. So then here, you see earlier we said, we just need to have this checkbox demo. This application, we are extend from the button demo. So the button demo, remember this one, the bolder pen, get pen, we are overwrite this method. Okay, so here actually we should add overwrite, so they know it's this one actually is overwrite from the button demo. So then since you overwrite, right, but we need the previous one, the get pen, because we already have the text and the button. So that's why here the bolder pen, we just create a pen. But this pen is came from our button demo get pen. We have the text and we have the buttons. So then we add another V box to contain two children, the bold checkbox and the italic checkbox. So then, right, see this pen is a bolder pen, right? I just need to set the right for this V box. Okay, so after we have GUI display, they will look like this. So now we only have checkbox. So right, the next one we want to add the listener, right? So we have two checkbox, so that's why we need to add two listener. But one thing is we can think about, you see here, whenever I check or uncheck, they right away change the font, right? But actually you see here, when I have bold, but then I can have bold plus italic. So that's why here, right, we do need to register both event handler to these two checkbox. However, they are affect each other. So that's why you see here I have two checkbox. They both uncheck. I can check one, check both, or check one only. So that's why here when they combined these two checkbox, but the result you have four different kind of font. You have normal, no bold, no italic, but you can have both bold or italic, or you have bold or italic. So that's why here, right, when we add the event handler on that, okay, but our event handler actually is what kind of event handler? They are, even I need to have both event handler to register to the two checkbox, but they are the same, right? Because they are affect with each other. So that's why here we only declare one event handler. So this event handler is what? I will only declare one, but I register on both the same event handler. Because every time my event change, I need to check both checkbox. So if they both are selected, so I have the bold italic font. But if only one selected, like the bold, I set to the bold, or italic, or nothing. So that's why here I want to show you when you have checkbox, right? But because they are affect each other. So on the other hand, actually you define is one single event handler, but use this event handler register on both checkbox. Okay, so then afterward, right, when we display the GUI, don't forget, you just call the get pen. Because you are in the checkbox, so the get pen, they will call this get pen method instead of from the super get pen. So after you understand how we add on this checkbox, right, so then the next one we just see the same thing. How can I add the radio button? So we see the radio button. So the radio button, very similar. They are still inherited from the button basis, but they have a toggle button first. So that means the other hand is whenever you create one radio button, right, you have their name, but you need to have them in a toggle group. So that's why here you have a toggle group. So this toggle group, you can add different radio button in there. So then this toggle box actually can help us to control different radio button every time we're only being chosen by one. So that's why here, when we display, right, we have couple different color. We have three different color here. So that's why we just need to using another V box. So we add three radio button one by one. So again, here we have the radio button demo. We are extended from the checkbox. So then here you will see we create the three radio button, red, green, and blue. So we display different name. We are put them in a V box. Okay, so we add all the V box. Okay, so then you can either to choose. So here, after we have this V box, add all the radio button. So then in our border pen, we set this button group in the left. So that's why they display here. So now the most important thing is after we have three buttons here, right? We see how they can add into a group. So that's why you need to create a toggle group. So this toggle group is one empty group. So you just set the toggle group for each button. So then after you have toggle group each button together, so that's why we can have, they are only being chosen by one. So then you set the toggle group, these three radio button in the same group. So the same thing like earlier we say, you can just do the set on action. So when the red is select, okay, so then we using the text for different color. So then you have this one, the same thing. Because sometimes you see here we only do X selected. Because whenever we make the choice, all of them they being affected. So all of them they being affected, we need to see which one being selected. So that's why they will display correctly. Okay. So one thing is, you can see when I just run this program, okay, they don't display any radio button being selected. So then here, they just display the black. But if you want, okay, if you want to be red to be set by default, so then what you need to do is before you add the event handler, so here we can see here, you can either set the red selected by default, okay, so then you just make them true, so being red. So if we comment out this one, so then you will see my program. Actually, I need to comment out this one, these two. Okay, so if so then you run again. Okay, so they will display by default. So just depends on what you want. You can choose nothing by default, or you can have set green on default. Okay. So that's our radio button. You see only one can be chosen. Okay. So the last one actually is we will just add the text field. So text field, actually you already know how to do that. But one thing is before our text field, we never add the event listener. But now you can add the event handle on even on text field. So that's why the final example after we finish like this one, right? So then you just know, we add a text field. Okay, so this one we have the label and the text field. So that will be on the top in our border pen. So that's why here we still extend from the radio button. We still call the super get pen. So here our text field and the label. So we put them on the top. Okay, so this one actually is another border pen. They have the pen for text. One is for the label, one is for the text field. But how you want to do is all up to you. Okay, because this one actually you can have the grid pen for your label and the text. But here actually this example in the textbook we have, they just make this one is another border pen. Okay, so that's why they have the text is in the center. So then when you want to set on action, you are set the action on your text field. So that's why every time you just need to get your text from your text field. Then you set the text, be careful, set text to the text. So that's why in the first example, the button demo, our text is protected. So after you have this one, so that's our final version. So we can enter the new text to display the text. So we can change to the bold italic. We can move the text left to the right. We can change the color we want. So that's more UI control you can do.